What's going on, YouTube? Uberman here. The most important thing that you could do before going out here and really getting on the interstate and driving is go find a parking lot. Go find an empty parking lot. Of course, I should probably throw this disclaimer out. I'm not responsible if you crash into a pole. I'm not responsible if you break your car or break your face. You do what you do. I'm just throwing out some suggestions. No matter what you drive, you need to be exceptionally safe on this stuff. And really, you need to go find a nice open spot that you can just practice sliding. That's what I do. Last night, I thought I had it figured out. I took my car out. I went sliding all over the place to get an idea of how it handles. I mean, every car is different. This is my first time with a 300C. This is a big car. I want to make sure that I know how this car is going to act when I purposely throw it into a slide. This will help me know where I'm going to be oversteering or understeering. It helps balance the way I'm going to try to correct a slide. And it's imperative, guys. You need to do this. If you have not gone out to an empty parking lot on the ice, and it's fun, okay? I'm not going to BS you. It's a lot of fun to go sliding around. But go find a nice empty spot. I actually did slide last night, completely by mistake. I should have known it was going to happen. I got a little cocky and I kind of smashed on the gas a little bit and got up to about 55 pretty quick. And next thing I know, my tachometer just jumped, because the rear wheels were gone. And that's with traction control on. I still lost the rear end. I ended up going into oncoming traffic. I mean, there was no traffic. This was like 4 in the morning. There was zero traffic. I went into the oncoming lane. And thankfully, I'd been practicing for a good portion of the night. I was able to correct it pretty quickly without losing too much control of the vehicle. So there's some things you need to understand. A lot of you probably have a misconception that because you have a four-wheel drive or you have bigger tires, whatever the case may be, you're a whole lot safer. And while four-wheel drive does give you more balanced weight, and it also gives you more stability in the short term, when you're talking about high speeds like the interstate, four-wheel drive does help, but not as much as you'd probably think. And this will probably cause a lot of debate, and I'm not going to argue with you. The fact is, I've had a lot of four-wheel drive vehicles, a lot of front-wheel drive, and a lot of rear-wheel drive. I've got a lot of experience with this. Bigger cars with bigger tires don't make you safer. When you think about the entire weight of your vehicle, you need to understand that all of this weight rests on a very small surface, okay, which is the very bottom of your tire, which has grooves, okay? Your car's control lies in the tread of your tires. If you got bad tires, you've got a problem. Even if you've got good tires, you're still not immune from slipping and sliding. The fact is, four-wheel drive or not, you can still lose control of your car, and it happens with almost no warning. Another fact, if you lose control of your car, chances are you were going too fast. If people will just slow down instead of trying to rush to get where they're going, leave early, take extra time to get where you're going, be more cautious. The key here is slow down. You hit that gas pedal, you're going too fast around a curve, or you're giving it acceleration while going into a curve, you're just asking for trouble, guys. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of advice on how to, number one, avoid a slide altogether. And number two, what to do if, hopefully this doesn't happen, but if you end up losing control of your car, this is the best thing you can do. Number one, like I said earlier, you need to go practice with your car on the ice and in the snow. You really need to understand how your car handles. You can undercorrect, you can overcorrect. It's very easy to do because you have a split second to react, and your mind is rushing, your heart's racing, and the instinct usually is just turn the wheel and go the other way. And overcorrecting is almost as bad as doing nothing and just crashing into a wall. You can send yourself into a complete spin. You need to take your car out, play with it, practice, learn how your car handles, and get a better understanding of how you need to control the steering wheel. Okay, I already said slow down. I'm reiterating that because that's probably the most important key to this whole video. Slow down. Next, you start going into a slide. I know it's your reaction to grab and turn the wheel hard. Your next reaction is probably to slam on the brakes. Both are very bad ideas. Very bad ideas. The first thing you need to do as you start going into a slide is take your feet off of the pedals, okay? If you're on the gas, if you're on the brake, whatever the case is, if you start losing control of your car, get your feet off the pedals. Keep your feet off the pedals, okay? Do not follow that instinct. Next, okay, you've heard most of us older people, I'm not older, I'm 35, but I remember being taught in driver's ed as a younger man to always steer in the opposite direction of a skid when you lose control of your car. Okay, that's hard to do because a lot of people don't have the mental capacity at the time this is happening to figure out what direction their car is skidding and then determine which direction. Because when you start skidding, guys, a lot of times you fishtail. Sometimes you're going left, right, left. The fact is, it happens fast, and once you start fishtailing, throw everything out the window. Okay, you don't have time to figure all this out. So the best thing you can do, honest to God, in my experience, is use your eyes and figure out where you want your car to go. Okay, if you're sliding towards an embankment or a tree, don't look that way. Don't. I'm telling you, most of the times your hands will follow your eyes. Okay, so if you're paying attention to a tree that's coming, without you probably even realizing it, you're likely to steer into that tree. So instead of focusing on everything else around you, focus on where you want your car to go. Where are you wanting your car to go? Look at where you want your vehicle to go, and your hands will follow. Now the next step, oversteer, it's a bad deal, okay? If you grab your wheel and you just turn it, man, you're liable to throw yourself into a complete spin, and things can get really bad, okay? It's one thing to slip and slide. It's another when you start spinning in circles on the interstate, okay? You don't need to grab your wheel and steer too much in one direction or the other. Gentle, guys. Very gently steer. The idea is to regain control of your car. Once you start sliding, forget the idea that you have any control, because you don't. If you've already started sliding, you have lost control of your vehicle, okay? All you can do is take the appropriate steps to help regain traction. Now, on a rear-wheel drive car, once you start getting your car back to where you want to go, okay, you want to gently accelerate, not brake. On a rear-wheel drive, you want to gently accelerate, very gently, okay? This helps redistribute the weight to the back of the car. As you accelerate on a rear-wheel drive, the front end lifts up, which pushes the back end, which are the wheels that drive, pushes the back end onto the ground, okay? On a front-wheel drive car, it's the opposite. You've got your drive wheels on the front, and as you drive, it still lifts up the front end, but that takes weight from the front and redistributes it to the back. You don't want that. You want the weight on the tires that drive. So gently use your brakes to slow down and regain traction on a front-wheel drive car. On a four-wheel drive car or truck, I would still use the brake. If you've got four wheels driving, you're in four high, I would gently use the brake, but you can do either. You can gently tap the brake, you could gently hit the gas. It shouldn't really make that big of a difference, but the key is being very subtle in your movements. Don't smash on the gas, don't smash on the brake, and don't jerk the steering wheel. Everything is about subtlety. So that's really all I can give you guys. The main focus of this video is to help you understand that you don't need to lose control of your car in the first place. Granted, it does happen, but if you go slow, okay, I know the highways are 70 miles an hour, okay, some places 60, but on a night like tonight, if I am on the interstate, I will not exceed 50. Whether my passengers like it or not, I will not exceed 50 miles an hour. Chances are I will keep it around 40. I would rather take it slow and get where I'm going safely than to try to get an extra 5 or 10 miles an hour out of it and end up sliding into a wall or hurting myself or hurting other people around me, okay? Snow tires, winter tires. Guys, it does cost a little bit more money. For my particular car, it's going to be about $450 plus around $35 to $40 to have it mounted and balanced. It's a lot of money, but you have to understand there's a huge difference between winter tires and regular all-season tires. Winter tires are actually a very, very soft silica compound. If you are in an area that's going to be below 47 degrees Fahrenheit, for the remainder of the winter, you will benefit from winter tires. These winter tires are designed to be very soft, very pliable, even in the coldest conditions. With traditional rubber tires, as it gets really, really cold, they get stiff. They stiffen up, they become hard, that causes them to have very little traction. The silica compound stays very soft, very pliable, have a very specific tread pattern, along with special channels and grooves that are designed for actually gripping in the ice and the snow and channeling the slush. It is fairly expensive when you're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 to replace these tires, but use them for the season, put them in a garage or in a storage facility somewhere that's out of the elements, and you can use these tires for years and years to come. I've watched a lot of videos. I've seen a lot of demonstrations of snow tires versus traditional rubber compound tires, and the stopping difference is over 100%. In most cases, on most test vehicles, 100% difference, in a car's ability to come to a complete stop when you're using a winter tire versus using a traditional all-season tire. So just wanted to throw that out there. If it's something you can afford, you should definitely look into it. It's added peace of mind, and it gives you added safety, added stability, added control. These things are very important in these conditions. So I hope the video helped you. I know a lot of you probably already know this information. Take that whole idea of steering in the opposite direction, just throw that out. Follow your eyes, okay? Focus on what you want to do, where you want to go, and most of the times your hands will just do the rest for you. Take your cars out, guys, your cars, trucks, your SUVs. Go have some fun. Don't get in trouble. Practice, practice, practice. There is no substitution for practicing, guys. Once you have some experience with the way your car handles, or your truck, or your SUV, whatever, your van, once you get an idea of how this thing handles on snow and ice, you're going to be much, much more prepared to gain control of your car in the event of a skid. Okay? I hope I was able to help some of you. Like I said, guys, I swear the DMV just hands out driver's licenses to people. It really didn't take any skill to drive anymore. And you get a lot of dangerous people on the roads today. So in case you're someone that doesn't have a lot of experience with this, I'm hoping this video gives you a heads up, okay? Good luck, guys. Stay safe out there. I know all over the country we're getting some really bad weather, so be very safe, take it slow, and Uber on.